Mm-hmm. Guys, Madonna's downstairs. I'm not joking. I had to show my keys and everything just to get back in. They have the whole street blocked off. Madonna, Seth Rogen, Bryan Cranston, and others are all right down there. If I open my window and hurl a bottle of wine out, it'll hit them in the head. There's lighting everywhere, security everywhere. I just went out to get some food and I came back and I was like, can I get in my house, please? They're like, where's your hotel key? I'm like, I'm not in the hotel. It's my fucking regular keys. You shits. I'm excited. It's the studio. Philip Manning, thank you for the PayPal. It's the studio they're filming the show on Apple TV. The studio, Seth Rogen's creation. I guess the first episode is here. It's probably, because the studio is all about the film industry. So it's probably, they're probably doing the Venice Film Festival, Do I look hungover? I am. I was out late. Crazy day yesterday. And I realized why the numbers were so weak last week and probably tonight because it's an hour late. I forgot that stateside you guys changed your clocks already. I forgot that. That was last week too. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? I just picked up a Barbaresco. The other wine from Piemonte. Let's have a taste. I just want something soothing tonight. I just want something I can ignore. Okay, put on sad bastard music if you want. I don't want sad bastard music. I just want something I can ignore. What's that from? Lydia's saying, take photos. Yeah, I'd like to. She means of the set, She wants to see all the gear and the crew. Fucking gear everywhere. Walk around the corner and there's a big, huge tripod and a light. They're all over the place. It's a good background. I noticed as well they were shining a light across the river. It's like, why are they doing that? And then I realized the shot going down the slender street, and then you can see across the river, you can see the palazzi in the background. So they're lighting that up just to complete the. Yeah, it's funny how these the movie making world works. Oh, Jackie, what took you so long? I have the Cars in my head. What are you guys doing? What's happening? We're going to talk some watches? I got a message from a guy earlier on Instagram. I was like, do you mind if I talk about this? I won't mention your name. He's like, all right. He asked me a strange question. But it comes up every now and then, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I should broach this topic. I'm just starting up Instagram here, guys. The difficult one. Go live. If you're tuning in on Instagram, you will find me on YouTube primarily. That's where I reside most. Who's in the room? Lots of folk. It's not too bad. It's picking up a little. And it's spring break in America. Okay. Yeah, it's a funny time of year. Actually, now that I think of it, last year was the same. Smaller crowds, but good. Good crowds. Good quality. Emmanuel, greetings from Miami. I'd be more excited about Bryan Cranston, says Nicholas. Yeah, he's just down there. He has a pink suit on. Looks weird. He looks very extravagant. It's funny as well. They set up all these little tables. They kind of made an imaginary restaurant, it looks like. That does not exist. They just kind of built one. All these little cute tables. It's funny. And Lydia's in Verona. She's shooting a commercial. She sent me a photo last night of her 5-star hotel they put her in right by the arena. It's like, ooh, a good old commercial money. We love it. Tim Wright is right. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Any Chuck Norris fans in the room? Chuck Norris has passed. Do you want to hear something terrible? I didn't know he was still alive. A terrible thing to say. I didn't know. The TheoKarmaPhotography.com. How's your photography, Theo? Is it good? To be honest, I like that Oisin is real dude. Speaks about all things under the sun, not just about timepieces. He's what we call in French a bon vivant. Huh? I've heard that terminology before. Thank you. A man who enjoys the finer things. I think last night I enjoyed the finer things a little too much. But it's all right. I was also up very early because I had a lot to do with the new place. Tons of stuff. And then I had a worker come in to do more sealing on Batiscopa. You know what that is? Batiscopa. I'm learning all these new words. Batiscopa is skirting board. I bought a lot of Batiscopa. And Ingombranti, that was the other one, right? The Ingombranti, bulky items that need to be dumped. Renovating an apartment is a nightmare in most cases for anyone. Try adding the problem of not knowing all the terminology. Like they look at you and go, ma sto studiamo I sanitari. I'm like, sanitari? What's sanitari? Turns out the sanitari are your toilet seat and your bidet. They're your sanitari. DJ, hello, fellas. Who needs a drink? Buenos Aires from Seattle, says Hans. Once again, apologies for the hour late. Just didn't occur to me. Where is this question that this chap asked me? It's here somewhere. I won't pull it up on the screen because that'll give away his name. I don't want to do that. I am heading to Venice in a couple of months from the west coast of the United States. Do you know if their Rolex store generally has good availability? ? I don't have a store close to me here. I'm assuming I can get a bit better deal on an Oyster Perpetual 41. I've had similar questions over the years. I'm coming to Venice. Do you think I can? What's the AD like there? Do you think I have a good chance? One guy was like, I just want a Batman. That's all I want. GMT Batman. You think I can get one when I come through Venice? And I'm like, wait, what do you think? Like, why would it be easier here to get a piece than it is in the States? It's the same. Also, the chap said, get a good deal. I mean, he's paying dollars. The dollar is super weak right now. What is the dollar right now? This is not a good time to be bringing your US dollars abroad and trying to buy expensive things. What's $1,000? It's 864 euros. That's really fucking weak. So 1,000 euros is $1,157. But then he mentioned about the tax free thing, coming back over, you claim your tax back. That is a good point. But the truth of it is, guys, there is no real, I don't know why a person would think, what did he reply here? He's like, I hear the OP generally has better availability than others. Not necessarily. Depends which one. You want an OP celebration dial? Forget it. You want a green dial? Very difficult. The silver dial and there's a black dial, right? They're probably the easiest ones to get. But they're not. No, OPs are very affordable. So that makes them hard to get also, because for $5 or $6 grand, you have a Rolex in your wrist. You don't have to spend 25, 30, whatever, or 12. You walk out and you have a Rolex. It may not be the flashiest of Rolex, but actually a lot of people like it for that reason. Everything I've seen reports that the VAT refund actually has some advantages other than buying in the States. Well, that is true. You can get your VAT. You're supposed to declare it then when you get back to your home country, but people don't do that. Fine. Just wear the watch. Yeah. And listen, the Italians, they love their Rolex, man. They love their flashy shit. That's what Italians do best. They love their Gucci and their Ferragamo and their Brunello and their Rolex and their Audemars Piguet and anything expensive and chic and all. That's what the Italians do. Most of the brands I just mentioned are Italian. They designed the Ferrari and the Bugatti, or as Andrew Tate would say, Bugatti. So I don't know what this impression is. Do you think that the people in the United States are more into luxury items than the Europeans? I would say the contrary. It's harder to get a watch here, especially that it's Venice. There are two ADs within 100 feet of each other here in the square. Rolex ADs, like proper ADs. 2. Utah, get me 2. And I would say that I mean, they have all the same rules. You have to have a spend history. Unless you want to walk in and buy some solid gold piece with mother of pearl and diamonds all over it that no one wants, that's way overpriced, and you lose 40% the moment you walk out the door, they might sell you that. There is no, or rather, there are the same rules, like the same stuff. People who've been purchasing watches for years have a spend history and a history in the town, get preference, and you can imagine the characters here in Venice: hotel managers, restaurateurs, cafe owners, these big swinging dicks who walk in and go, "Maurizio, how are you? My son is turning 21. I'd like stainless steel. And what do you have for me? I'll take another date, I'll buy that solid gold piece. Come by my new restaurant. We're opening next week. You can imagine." And the people park their yachts and all that. No, this is like one of the wealth capitals of the planet. Maybe if you go to some little town that happens to have an AD, Rovigo has an AD, or at least the last time I was in Rovigo, which was 5 years ago. Nobody gives a shit about Rovigo. Rovigo's the butt end of every joke in Italy. It's this forgotten town. But their AD is so tiny. You think, how many pieces do you think they're getting allocated? They probably see one Submariner every year, They're not going to have the same kind of throughput, are they? All men are equal in God's eyes. Are they? What's that from?
How well are you trained in music?
Oh, I know a little. I studied as a child here in Vienna.
Ah, then you must know this.
I'm afraid I do not recognize it.
It was a very popular piece in its time. I wrote it. How about this? Well,
I'm afraid I don't know that either.
Do you not know any works of mine? I was a very popular composer. I wrote 40 operas alone.
Ah, what about this? Oh, that's charming. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you wrote that.
I didn't. That was Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
The man you're accused of killing.
You've heard that?
Well, is it true? Good God, man. If you have something to confess, do it now.
He was my idol.
Sorry, I'm doing a show. What am I doing? What the fuck are you doing, O'Malley? You're gonna just sit here and recite the entire movie? There's an audience trying to speak to you. Jesus Christ. Wake up. Or a betting 1160. $5. Rest in peace, the legend. Recently rewatched your video on the Cartier Drive. Highly recommended it to viewers that haven't watched it. Happy Friday. Yeah, that was a good one, right? The Cartier. And it has the CN watch in there as well, the Carinardo. It's a nice video. Romantic. Has Sinatra. Let me see if I can hear them acting outside. I can't hear anything. There mustn't be any yelling in the scene. All I just want to hear Bryan Cranston laugh. You know, that'll just give me a kick. He's a very distinct laugh. There's a man with a low voice. Someone was picking on me the other day. Why so much vocal fry? I guess they watched one of my videos and I'm like this talking and they're like, quit it with the vocal fry. And that's not vocal fry. Vocal fry is a totally different thing. That's a real LA thing. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Vocal fry. That's what that is. I just have it's all the cigars and the scotch. He must get freaked out by every low voice, like everyone in Hollywood, every actor. I think, was it Matthew McConaughey who would try to remove the squeaky from his voice before a scene? He would bring his tone down and go down there. All right. He'd like to go down there because it sounds cooler. It just does. So he would do this thing to train himself, and he'd go and pound his chest. On the set of Wolf of Wall Street, Scorsese saw him do that, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "I like to do this, get my voice down." And he's like, "Can you put that in the scene?" And they wound up in the scene with DiCaprio. Yeah, Bryan Cranston, Walter White, right? What was her name? Skylar, I have no idea. He's all the way down there. That seems forced sometimes. Wouldn't you agree? DG Wolfie. Yeah, it's a good film. If you have not seen, I'll show you what film I'm talking about. It's called Amadeus by Milos Forman. If you have not seen this film, can you please see it? You need to see this film. Yes, it's about the life of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, told by a rival composer through the voice of Antonio Salieri, who was very jealous of Amadeus's natural skill to write brilliant music. It's one of the greatest films ever made. And if you don't care for classical music, it doesn't matter. You'll still find it really, really interesting. Tom Holtz plays Mozart. And Murray Abraham plays Salieri.
Well, the plan was simple. First, I must get the death mass, and then I must achieve his death. But how do you do that? Huh? How does one kill a man? It's one thing to dream about it, but it's another when you have to do it with your own hands. He won the Oscar for that. It's fucking the best performance I've ever seen. Only 8 upvotes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Are there only 8 upvotes on this video? What is wrong? Let me see. There's 14 now. There's over 300 in the room, you lazy shits. I know it's because you're just captivated from my incredible impersonations of Murray Abraham. I forgive you. Anyway, so just to put that subject to bed, there is nowhere where the ADs have more watches to give you and where it's easier to get a piece. If there was such a thing anywhere in the world, all the fucking guys on 47th Street in Manhattan would be on a plane straight there to buy them and flip them. You think they wouldn't have heard about it? There is no such. In fact, you're best off going to somewhere local near you that you can show up every couple of months, show your face, get to know them, buy a couple of things, smaller stuff, whatever, and develop the rapport. You come to a town like Venice for a weekend, you've got no rapport. You're walking in cold. Now, if you want a Panerai, then sure, or an Omega. My friend Cristiano at Panerai, he's on the piazza there. He says he literally never sells to an Italian. Every Panerai he's ever sold and all the years there have been to foreigners. So but Rolex? No. Again, if you're in the mood for a solid gold piece that's sold on the gray market for $10,000, maybe $15,000 less, they might sell you it because you're the biggest moron in town. Unless you're made of money and you don't care and you just want the AD experience, and God knows there's lots of those people in the world, do not buy a solid gold Submariner from the AD. Go down the street, find somewhere else, find a reseller, and buy it from them at a serious discount. Speaking of Vienna, my brother lives there. There he is. The Requiem, he's referring to Mozart's final piece, the Requiem, the Death Mass, is on at the Karlsplatz on Easter Sunday. Wow. But isn't Easter, shouldn't it be Good Friday? Isn't Easter Sunday the resurrection of Christ? Why would they have a death mass on the day that Christ came back to life? It should be on the Friday, the Lacrimosa, right? The most tearful. Kyrie eleison, all of that. Theo Karma says cruise ships. Now, I have heard that sometimes cruise ships are loaded up with Rolex. That the Rolex, that you find some Rolex ADs are on fucking cruise ships. Can you believe it? And they're obviously they're not docking everywhere. They're kind of, they're setting off wherever they're setting off, and on a long, month-long cruise, and they're given a certain amount of watches. They're not flying in watches every day on a helicopter or anything. So obviously they're stocking up. That store is going to stock up before they set sail. And if you have a 10 or 20 grand burning a hole in your pocket, you might want to wander in there on the first day and go, hey, I'm here for the whole 3-week thing or month-long thing. I'd love a shot at a Starbucks, please, or a Bruce Wayne. See if you can charm them. Follow the staff when they close in the evening. Follow the staff to the bar. Buy them all drinks at the bar. Drinks on me. Become their favorite person. Be Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Play the piano. Play Rachmaninoff, the Paganini theme. Save the guy from choking on his steak. So yes, I've heard that that's the thing that they, once the cruise comes back, then Rolex come onto the ship and take whatever didn't sell or whatever, So maybe there's an incentive for them to move their inventory. Right? I believe that's how I got my my AP from the boutique here. I mean, I think there was a few factors that kind of collided. But I think the biggest one, personally, I mean, if I wanted to blow smoke up my own ass, I could focus on the other. But I'm going to be real about it. The truth is, it was probably driven by the fact that the boutique was closing for good here in Venice in 10 days or 2 weeks after when I walked in, or less, I think. So I think they just kind of went, oh, there's that guy again. We like him. One of the staff was like, oh, you're the guy that they all ask about when they come in here. And I think the manager there just went, you know what? We still have a few of these pieces. We're supposed to get rid of them. I really think that was it. He's like, you wanted the Green Diver Royal Oak offshore. I was like, yeah. Where are you going with this? He goes, I have it for you. I'm like, don't lie. You could have called me. I just reminded you that I exist, and someone else probably turned it down this morning, and now you're like, fuck. I want to sell all the inventory before we close up shop here. They closed the boutique here. They closed the one in Florence. There's only 3 places you can. They changed their whole outlet. There's no such thing as an AP store anymore, an AP boutique. There's only AP House, which is like going into a bloody hotel or something. It's got a reception desk and you're taken to an elevator and shit. It's like, it's not even It's completely weird. It makes Rolex look like they're giving fruit away at a market. And there's one in Milan, one in Rome, and one in Cortina. Remember Cortina d'Ampezzo? Where the Seiko Alpinist video? Up where all the rich go skiing. Ray's walking home. Third Guinness was enough. Pub full of tourists. Really? Apparently there was nice weather over there today. In Britain as well. 20th century boy. I went into a Rolex AD on Grand Cayman Island. I asked if Batman was in the house. They told me that they turn on the bat light all the time, but it's not working. I see. Andy Dufresne, there's no AP house in Vienna. They have a lot in Vienna. Vienna's full of watch stores. They have Breguet and everything. There's a lot of watch stores in Vienna. All in the same, 300 or 400 meter squared area. Vaughn, 21 upvotes. Is that for real? I can't believe it. What's wrong with you guys? You're watching me on TV or something, are you? There's no upvote button on the TV. Open your phone for a minute. Help a bro out. Kyle, what's your favorite scotch to drink? My personal favorite is Kale Ila. Love the peaky, smoky stuff. Yeah, Kale Ila is quite peaty and quite sweet at the same time. Whereas you'll find a Lagavulin will be peaty, full stop. Well, you've named two of them that I really like. Well, I named the other one, Lagavulin. I do like a Talisker, but I don't like the old Taliskers. Like, you can get a Talisker 25, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Talisker 10 is the best one. Just the 10 years old. Just says 10. That's a nice sipper. You can sit with a bottle of Talisker 10 all evening and it'll tell you all sorts of funny stories and keep you company and kiss your fevered brow. Some scotches are just, they're for having one. Like, you get a Macallan 25 or something, or 30. It's for having one shot to celebrate the birth of your new child or something like that. It's not something you can sit down and sip on. A 10-year-old or 12-year-old whiskey is the sweet spot for a nice sipper. Once it starts getting mad old, things get very heavy and complex, and she's a high maintenance lady. She'll make you sorry you ever dated her. She's not fun to be around. She's constantly looking in the mirror. Right now, everyone's thinking, is Oisin still talking about scotch? Yeah? Okay. By the way, I haven't done a wrist check. I am wearing the Vacheron Constantin Historique Ultrafine. You want to see a close-up? What do you think of that? The VC Historique Ultrafine, because it's so damn slim. And yes, I've said it before. Even though he sells watches, even solid gold watches, not that I've ever seen one in the flesh, he does not wear them Donald Trump wears other watches, and this, in recent years, has been his favorite. It's the watch you'll see on his wrist most often. The VC Trumpster, Brad. Hey, I think it's a handsome watch. Extreme elegance. If I'm invited to a wedding or anything sometime soon, you bet your ass I'm going to be wearing this. It's not even a 300, it's a 200. Extremely legible. I'll give you another close-up. The strap is a work of art. It's very... I'm working on some video of it. It's very hard for me to show you how insanely beautiful, and I mean, I can't show you the softness because you'd have to touch it. But the strap is absolute, just luxury, highest level. The softest, most beautiful, expensive feeling strap. And I have a lot of great straps. It really feels, you put it on, you buckle it, and you go, oh shit, you know. You realize you're holding something of just superior level. Brian, at the Oscars, somebody wore an integrated bracelet, rose gold perpetual calendar from JLC. Richemont might drop them soon since it's VC territory. Yeah. How'd you guys feel about the Oscars? Did we talk about that? Not sure we did. I liked One Battle After Another. I think it's an amazing film. It's very bizarre, but that's PTA, isn't it? He's always like that. I tried watching Sinners. I got bored. So I did. I'll give it another shot. There's a little controversy coming out of it. Tiana Taylor. She's trouble, man. That's a very beautiful woman. But she's a little crazy. Like, you see her in interviews, she's a little unhinged. I can't tell if we're seeing her real personality or not. She seems to be overcompensating a lot. But she's great in the movie. She's a good and talented actor for sure. Sean Penn celebrated in Ukraine. Sean Penn didn't give a shit. It's his third. He's one of the few actors in the world who has 3 Oscars. Well, he didn't care. He's above that shit. He's completely above it. He's not impressed by any of that shit. And he probably didn't go also because he can't smoke cigarettes in the theater. Literally, that might be a reason why he didn't go. Brian says it was Robert Pattinson who was wearing the JLC. That's interesting. Valfe, Project Hail Mary. That's the new Ryan Gosling sci-fi. It's getting mixed reviews. I liked the book. Well, everyone prefers the book, right? The book is always, when you see a film that was originally a book, and you like the film, but maybe you didn't read the book, it's only a matter of time before some annoying nerd approaches you and goes, "Have you read the book? The book's so much better." It's always the way. Because it's true. Galaxian Lagavulin 16. The cornerstone of Scottish whiskey industry, spelled whiskey properly as well, or nearly, you missed a K. Industry, I would consider it one of the greats. I always like to have a bottle of that around for close encounters. The classic car nut. Put down the drink and smoke and celebrate life and have self-respect. What? You just contradicted yourself there. You mean pick up the drink and light the smoke and celebrate life. Mandelo. Do you still own your 1266-22? I do not. I missed that watch. I had an 1166-22 and then the 12. I had two of the 12s. I had the blue one and the slate. I miss them all. I might get one of those again. I'm moving through the watch journey. Do you understand? Look what I'm wearing now. It's like so miles from that. I'll put on a Rolex though, because I still have the 5512. Simona hasn't been on the phone hounding me about it. I think I know why. We know each other very well at this point. I think I know why. It's because I think he has some pieces in his window that he knows that when I see them, I'll want them. And he loves me. We're good friends, so he can't say no. But he knows I'll just take the watch home and just start wearing it. And then I'll give him a few thousand here and a few thousand there. And he'll be like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I want to help Oisin out and all, but like, I'd rather just sell it to some tourists tomorrow. So I feel like he has a couple of pieces maybe that he's like, oh, if he comes over, he's going to want these. Hide them. So I think that's why he hasn't been hounding me. That's my guess. Just making an educated guess. But he hasn't been on the phone going, hey, where's the 5512? So I'm like, fuck it. I'll keep it here until he asks me for it. So I'm going to stick it on. I have to wind it up. God damn it, man. The old Rolexes, when you're winding them. Why? Why are they so much heavier and important feeling when you wind them versus the new ones? It's the same with my solid gold bluesy. That thing was like you could hear angels in the background when you're winding the thing. Okay, so it's 10:49. Non-hacking. I love that. I'm setting the time and the seconds are still going. It's a different era, guys. It's a different time. It's a different movie. It's a different shark. What's that from? Jaws 2. No, you nearly had it. You said Jaws 2, but it's Jaws. They're not the same. It's a different movie. It's a different shark. Anybody watch Father Ted? Shit was genius. Okay, I'm putting on a 5512. Very different watch. Still for sale? Jesus, guys, someone grab it, would you? Before I bring it back to him. And then it's gone forever. There it is, 5512, all original. From 1968. Gabri sent me 10 euros because Gabri loves me. The rest of you, not so much, apparently. Sinners is unwatchable piece of crap. Stopped at 40%. so mediocre or something off. You know what? I didn't get to 40%, but I was like, I was waiting for a story to grip me or something. There's a huge. Do I want to even mention this? Will I get in trouble? Probably. There's a huge fucking discussion out there on TikTok and so on. That, Sinner should have been best movie, and the black community are upset. They wanted Sinners to win everything. Meanwhile, there are other people going, are you kidding me? Like, one battle after another is if you're about black power and a black importance, black liberation or whatever, then you should be mad about one battle after another, because it's kind of what it's about, kind of. I'm watching it going, oh man. Like, I'm all liberal and woke and all, but sometimes, man, the fucking woke left piss me off. Sometimes I push my fingers into my eyes. I have to say, yeah. I better shut up now. There's no fault in character. How are you doing on this non-rotating stationary Earth? Jesus. He's a flat earther. We were talking on Tim's thing. Tim's stream. Terrifying. But interesting. Hey, listen. I mix with all sorts. Right? Now I have a flat earther to put in my Rolodex, along with the various other characters. I relight this. I love the smell of matches. When you buy a real box of matches, can you do yourself that favor? Even if you don't smoke cigars, buy a real. Look, this brand is really funny because they have different. I got the sardines one that looks like a sardines can, but I had a different one. I had one with giraffes and I don't know, tropical flora on it or something. I finished it, but when you get a real box of real lighters or matches, first of all, the side, what is it? Yeah, words are disappearing. Works, on a cheap box of matches or whatever. You can never strike the thing. You can't say striker. Yeah, there it is. On a real box, the striker is beautiful. You don't even have to push it or force it or do any sort of crazy gymnastics. You just gently brush it and it just fucking lights it up. It's just, and they burn beautifully, and it's just, it reminds you that good, well-made things are worth the fucking money, man. I think it was like $15. These are big matches. Big beauties. And I have bigger ones. I have longer ones. John Schmidt became a YouTube member. Thank you, John. Looking well. Looking handsome. Thank you, sir. Well, now you can see all those silly lives that I keep doing out on the water in the afternoon. And if you became the high level one, the Whiskey Cigar Lounge, excuse me, then you'll have access to the WhatsApp group. We're a good bunch. The nicest guys in the watch world are in my WhatsApp group. We share photos every day, wrist shots and photos of whiskey and cigars and food and luxury lounges in airports and stuff like that, Brad, get a Zippo. Brad, I have a Zippo. I have the Zippo to beat all Zippos. It's classic brass. I had it overhauled about 5 or 6 years ago. It belonged to my father. It was his prized possession. Unfortunately, it's one of my regrets. I've said it before. I never made enough money before he passed to give him a Rolex. If I could go back in time, that's one thing I would have done. Giving my dad a Rolex that's it. Like, it would have been the greatest thing. Anyhow, we can't go back in time. But he, one of his prized possessions was his classic Zippo. And when he passed away, I made sure I got that. And I have it here. And I'm not going to use the Zippo because the Zippo uses that oil and it leaves the smell. You shouldn't light a cigar with a Zippo. You should light a cigar either with a big match or a piece of cedar. Or if you're outdoors, just use the jet thing. That's what I do just to make things fast. But if you have a minute to sit down and relax, you should use a piece of cedar or a big fat ass slow burning match. Yeah, wooden match, Jim. Yeah. I'll never lose that Zippo. That thing was, he loved that. He was so proud of that lighter. All these years later, it happened at my daughter's Laurea. I'm losing the words now. Laurea in English is graduation. Last summer. And I showed up, obviously on the morning of the thing, and everybody's dressed up. And she looked beautiful. She had no earrings. I was like, nothing in your ears? She goes, no, I don't. I was like, well, how about that? Because one of your gifts for your graduation are some diamond earrings. So she took them straight out of the box and put them straight in her ears. My aunt was there and she was like, that was good timing. I was like, well, hell yeah. But anyway, I showed up, looking dapper and nice, dressed up nice and all of that and spruced up and, wearing fragrance. I can't remember what I wore, Penhaligon's or whatever. I mean, mother was there. She was like, I wish your father was here to see this. He loved all that stuff. And it's true when I think about him. He used to love getting in a nice suit and putting on a nice tie. And he used to love putting on his, usually Old Spice. Old Spice was what he used to wear. And you might shit on it, but actually Dirk Kennedy from the Eyebashers, who is a fucking expert on fragrances, swears by Old Spice. He was like, you know what? Don't shit on Old Spice. It may be on the cheap side of things, but it's a rock solid fragrance for men. So if you're not going to listen to a New York gay who knows everything about the sartorial world, I don't know what's wrong with you. So I'll take him on his word with that. I feel like if I smelled Old Spice again today, there'd be a flush of memories. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it have been great? Stop thinking about that, O'Malley. I just, every now and then in my head, I go, God, a nice white dial Datejust 36, like a Harrison Ford, the Buckley dial. Fuck me. Anyway. So now what I do is I give my whole family watches just to try and to fill that empty vacuum in my soul. I'm trying desperately to make up for it. Here, take. That looks great, and you take it. Yeah, just trying to compensate. I can't even read that name. So sorry, man. Old Spice is more than decent. I regularly use Old Spice products. Thank you, sir. Listen, anybody who has anything good to say about Old Spice is my friend. Because that little bottle, the little white enamel bottle sitting in the bathroom or on this dresser in the bedroom is burnt into my memory forever. James Bastian. I think the 5512 is better looking than the new ones. Well, yeah, 5512, man. This is the icon. Kyle, can I be in your family? It's a disposition. Last Christmas, I was over and I just brought a load of watches. I just started handing them out. My poor mother was fucking having a heart attack because there were guests at dinner that I didn't even know. Next thing they're like, I was like, yeah, take it, looks great. And you know, my mother's in the background. Did he just give him that fucking $2,000 watch? I was just showering people with watches. Actually, it was really nice because my brother-in-law, turns out he didn't have a nice watch, and he really liked the one. And his sister, she's from Turkey, and she's the sweetest human being I've ever met in my life. And it turns out she's a big fan. She's like, I always really marvel at beautiful watches, and this is like the best gift. I just love giving, you know. I much prefer giving than taking. I can't accept. I'm awful with gifts. I don't know what to say. I feel awkward. But giving, oh man, that's my favorite thing. I don't want accolades or big thank yous. I just anyway. I've got to do the Instagram thing again. Here we go again. Instagram, you are driving me nuts. So what else? Who else? What fragrances do you guys like? What fragrances did your dad like? Was he into that kind of stuff? Did he have enough money? Well, the good thing about fragrances is you don't need to be rich to wear a nice fragrance. You can get expensive fragrances, but you don't have to. There are a lot of very affordable fragrances that are very masculine, and there's feminine ones too. That won't break the bank. Michael says my dad likes high karate. I'm not an expert on fragrances, so Pierre is wearing his Palm 335 mini forklift. My dad was a brute guy. Nice to see it making a comeback of sorts. Photo Dave Jacks, Aqua Velva. Look, everybody's got a dad with a favorite. Jim, my pops had a bottle of Old Spish. I don't even know. We need Dirk in the room right now. He'd know all this stuff, especially the old stuff. English leather always reminds me of my dad, DLWC. G Medina, my dad liked Aramis. You see what I mean? Everybody's reminiscing about their dads now. I'm sorry, fellas. That's my fault. Microbiologist wears Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja. Jesus. That sounds pricey. That's all I can say. Andrew, have I missed Dushing playing guitar? No, I'll do that next week. I didn't have time. I was too hungover and weird today. I'll set that up for next week. Sorry about that. I know I promised. I'll do it for next week. Anthony Davies. I do like Creed, but it's going too expensive. Creed is getting very expensive, isn't it? I have Irish Tweed, which was a bottle gifted from Tim. Actually, gave me that bottle, and I wore it on Paddy's Day. The Irish Tweed. It's nice. It's not my favorite fragrance, but I like having it as an extra option. It comes out once every 4 or 5 times I wear a fragrance. My favorites lately have been Pentalogons. The names now. I'll remind myself in a moment. I'm going to clear the brain. I like Pentalogons, and I like these new these Venice things, the Merchant of Venice ones. They're mad money though. Kyle, my dad wore a 5512 with Royal Lime. Wow. Your dad wore a 5512, huh? Oh yeah, I remember that. You told me about that. Creed Aventus is excellent. If you're gonna get Creed, fellas, I've worn the Aventus. Very nice. Very, very nice. Galaxian. Old Spice, his dad. Drakkar Noir. Do you remember Drakkar Noir and Polo were huge in the 80s? Michael, it's true. I used to have Drakkar Noir when I was younger. I forgot about that. Mini forklift, Old Spice. My dad wore Brute, says Joe. Yeah, so now if you're walking down the street and some distinguished gentleman passes you and he's wearing that, do the memories come back? I'm sure they do, right? They say that the sense of smell triggers memories more than anything else. Quercus, Gary Barlow. I do love Quercus. I have that for the summer. And then I have, what's the name of it? For the winter. Oh, man. All the fucking names disappear. Maybe you'll remember it. Aqua de Parma, I have that. Mats, yeah, it's nice. Nice for the summer. Anyway, Bleu de Chanel. I bought Bleu de Chanel for 220 euros and Carissa stole it. She didn't steal it. It just wound up in her bag and we forgot it was in her bag and not mine. And she texted me. She's like, I have your fucking bottle of Blue. I was like, oh shit. Anyway, I'm sure there's lots of folk in the crowd loving their fragrance. I often wonder about those fragrance channels, they do those full channels all about fragrances. How do they do that? Like, we can't smell anything. At least with watches, I can show you the watch. Like, we have to go on their word entirely. The only thing we can judge is with our eyes. We can judge the shape of the bottle. Big deal, Weird. Aaron. Zadada, I like Lacombe, Hypnos, or Sweat and Stress. Yeah. Coming back to the Oscars for a moment, I really enjoyed them. I sat here with a bottle of wine and a friend, and we we had chocolates and wine for the evening, and we watched the Oscars till 4 in the morning, and I really enjoyed it. It was shit. Like, it wasn't a good show. The jokes weren't that funny. But I just love award shows. I don't know what it is. I enjoy them. Some people scoff at them, you know. Oh, these wealthy actors celebrating themselves, patting themselves on the back. I just think that's a very cynical way to look at it. You have to remember these people are doing a bizarre job, you know. They're doing I mean, most of us wouldn't have a first clue how to do what they do. And they're also taking enormous risk, unless they're a Nepo baby, and there's plenty of those. They're walking the path less traveled, right? You can imagine the doubt, the self-doubt, especially the directors, you know. Well, the actors too. There's so much pressure on them. But I think the directors are the ones that have the roughest time. Trying to get funding from the studio and trying not to go over time or over budget. And like, you watch those documentaries about Jaws, you know, Spielberg making Jaws, and he went 6 weeks over time and budget and everything, and they were screaming on the phone. He stopped answering the phone, trying to get his movie made, and the shark kept breaking down. And I mean, it sounded like a complete nightmare. And there must have been a huge temptation to throw in the towel or just finish the movie badly. Can you imagine? That film changed cinema, man. Changed the world. And they shelved it. They shelved Jaws for 2 years. Jaws was released in 1977. It wasn't finished in 1977. It was finished in 1975. They shelved it for 2 years. Steven Spielberg thought his career was over. Think of it. I just think that it's an amazing accomplishment. I mean, just look at they're filming downstairs. It doesn't sound like there's any commotion. They're probably finished. But what they're doing is there's just fucking people all over the. I was at the bus stop earlier. There was 2 dudes standing there, ominous looking, tall black fellas. I wasn't even anywhere near the crew or where they're shooting. And I saw they had the badges on, the things around their necks. They're fucking security, making sure nobody weird is getting off the boat that might be looking to kill Madonna or whatever. But the crew is just like gargantuan. There's gear everywhere. There's hundreds of people just to shoot a couple of scenes with a couple of people in it. Think of the coordination and the planning and all of that. And then the competition, you know. You make a movie and you think it's good, and then somebody else makes a movie about a similar topic and it makes more noise, and everyone's like, your movie was okay, but that guy's movie was better. You're like, all of that stuff going on, you know. It's real easy for us fatzos to sit on our couch and scoff at these people. You know? But I don't know. Jeffrey Madonna's so gross. Sure, yeah. Yeah, I've never liked her as a person. Monster. Jaws scared the bejesus out of too many people. Photo Dave Jack's Apocalypse Now, right? Took him 5 years to make it. Nearly killed him. Nearly killed Coppola making that film. Koski, what's in the glass? I'm having some Barbaresco. I'm always having Barolo, right? Barbaresco's the sister. Barolo has to be worked for 3 years. Barbaresco's 2. And it's very similar to Barolo, but it's a bit more it's a bit like lighter, brighter, you might say. It's got some kind of strawberry raspberry thing going on that Barolo does not have. You know, Barolo has a kind of a licorice tar element going on, whereas Barbaresco doesn't. It replaces those two flavors with kind of a raspberry tang, slightly. It's a bit more alive. It's a bit more awake. You can spend a lot of money on a good Barbaresco. This is 14%. It's a good strong one. If you get a Gaia Barbaresco, that's going to set you back 500 lids. Pierre Champagne did great. Oh my God, yeah. He owned that character. Lockjaw. That film was so insane. I said it a couple of weeks ago. My favorite thing this character he built for Lockjaw is this this thing he does. They're like, what would you say about a person who said that you were not loyal to the movement? I would say they have no business being in this country, let alone the planet. Like he's confirming to himself. You know, this is where do you get that little tick from? And then he just fucks off to Ukraine. And the guy's amazing. People hate him and he doesn't give a shit. I love that. That reminds me of someone that I know. A little bit. Ian is, or not Ian. Son. Everyone was talking about Timothy Chalamet, Sarah Loser, or what? He's a little arrogant, that little fucker. Isn't he? He's like, I want to be Brando. I was like, you'll never be Brando. Shut the fuck up. No one ever says that. Not even Brando would have said, I'm going to be Brando. Shut your mouth. I don't know. Yeah. He's a great actor. Listen, he's a great actor. He definitely is. But man, something up with that dude. I don't know if Michael B. Jordan was the greatest performance of the year, honestly. I'm not going to say anything about what I think about that. But anyway, actually, I think DiCaprio should have gotten it. I think DiCaprio's performance was better than his performance in The Revenant, which is what he got the Oscar for. DiCaprio's a super dick, but man, that fucker can act. Noj Nassam. The licorice taste of Barolo is amazing. Yeah, it's like a play between licorice and tar, right? Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir with me, with Barolo, man. Big Barolo boy. Yes. Joe just had a great Barbera d'Alba. Nice. Barbera is a different grape because Barbaresco and Barolo use Nebbiolo, the elusive grape. Barbera is a different varietal. And then they have Fresa, which is another one. It's rarer. Andy, I'm glad you brought that up. Ethan Hawke was the best. So Ethan Hawke is everywhere now. First of all, he's a fucking lovely person. He just always is a lovely guy. He's a great, great actor. We know that. But he's everywhere, all over. So I know I'm going to show you guys because I know you guys don't do the social media thing, the Instagrams and the TikToks. But man, is he everywhere, because in a quick interview, he talks about heartbreak. And it's like people are saying, thank you, Ethan Hawke. You've just mended like 1 million broken hearts around the world. Let me see if I can find this clip. And here it is. You can share it over. Okay, here we go. And I have to unmute that. I'll share it over. Just so you guys can, I'm sure many of you have seen it, but I know lots of you haven't because you're not looking at social media much.
Any advice for someone who also has a bit of an unrequited love theme in their life?
The one who's in love always wins.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get your heart broken. You're living. When you're feeling, you're alive. The sun doesn't care whether the grass appreciates its rays, right? It just keeps on shining. That's you.
So I'm going to get that tattooed on my forehead, I think. Do you have...
So, yeah, that's the claim. I'm sorry the music was so loud. I just chose the wrong one, I guess. The sun doesn't care whether the grass appreciates its rays. It just keeps on shining. Jesus. Who knew that Ethan Hawke was like Buddha, When I asked him about more fucking life advice, holy shit, that came out of nowhere. So people are going crazy. People are like, oh my God, it's like the best comment ever on dealing with a broken heart. The person who's in love always wins. Wow. How the fuck did he come out with that shit all of a sudden? Just like on the spot. Jeffy watched Gattaca with Hawke last night. It's a good movie, Gattaca. Yes. What was his secret in the end? He never saved any energy for the swim back, right? It's a good film. Jim Patterson, Del Toro. Just a couple of small beers. A few small beers. It's a few small beers. I've had a few what? A few small beers. That's the best line. I watched that film. I think I've seen that film 10 or 12 times now. And the second or third time I watched it with my daughter when she was here. I was like, have you seen it yet? She's like, no. I was like, well, let's put it on. And she burst out laughing to that line. I also noticed how alert she is with everything, the cuts and the way and the things said in the movie and so on. It's like I need to see the film twice or 3 times to pick up everything. She was picking it up on the first time around. I was like, you're old now. But man, she loved it. She was like, this is fucking great. Mini forklift. Yeah, apparently it was unscripted. Yeah, he was just being sensei, right? Who doesn't like Benicio del Toro? I need to make a TV show going in search for a person who doesn't like Benicio del Toro, because I don't think there is one. there's always some people love and hate all actors in the world, right? There's always someone out there who goes, "Oh, I can't stand that actor. I can't stand that." And you're like, "What?" Have you met anyone who goes, "No, I don't like Benicio del Toro"? Anyone? Let me know in the comments if you don't like Benicio del Toro. Have you seen Sicario? Have you seen that movie? We always love, especially us fellas, we love a badass, right? Badass dude. That guy is he's the ass of the badass. He's the ass's ass. It's funny as well because in interviews, he's kind of a lighthearted, kind of happy-go-lucky guy. He has no charisma in interviews. It's weird. And the second he's on fucking camera in a movie, he's got fucking charisma just oozing. I don't know. The guy could just stand there. They can just film him and it's going to work. The director will be like, great, we've got to take, just the second he comes into that movie, the movie gets better. It's already good. And then it gets better the second he's in it. I'm like, why is this dude so just great on film? It's weird. It's a great character for him as well. He's perfectly cast. Traffic, yeah, that was a good film. Yeah, JX, RIP, Chuck Norris, yeah. We said that earlier. I have to admit, I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't mind him. He wasn't really on my radar growing up. I don't know why. Next James Bond, everybody wants to know. Hey, people have been guessing. Also, what about the next watch brand? Will Omega keep going strong? That could save Omega. God knows they've been riding that train for a long time. Omega are like beginning to drown. They need a good Bond movie with a new watch. Doesn't fucking Jeff Bezos own it now? So it's probably going to be garbage. Ray got home and only met 2 banshees on the way. That's not too bad going, man. Only 2. Were they brushing their hair and crying? Steve was 26 when he made Jaws. Yeah. Wasn't his first movie. His first movie was something else. But yeah, it was his first big budget movie. Seagulls are pissed off. They're always pissed off. I'm glad. They deserve it. Whatever pain they're in, I'm happy. Goddamn beasts. Hey, salute, Pierre. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Duel was his first movie. Thank you, Mac. You got it. Duel. Yeah. Spielberg, man. Great movies. Close Encounters. I feel like that movie doesn't get enough love. Nick says an episode of Columbo was his first directorial debut. Is that a fact? Has anyone found anyone who does anyone dislike Benicio?
I saw somebody mention that, yeah, he played Che Guevara. I have to see that film. Can you believe me, of all people, I haven't seen the Che Guevara movie? What's wrong with me? Something wrong in the universe. Why have I not seen that? Should I switch watch? 5512 coming to an end. It's a beauty though, isn't it? Still for sale. I'd love to keep it myself. With the original bracelet, that's so rare. Collector's item. Let me put on this. This was a big hit the other day. I did a video on Rolex leaks, but I was wearing this, and this turned out to be the star of the show. Nobody gave a shit about the Rolex leaks. Everyone was like, "Oh, I love your fucking Tudor, badass." Tudor Chrono Steel and Gold. Yeah, baby. Mini Fort. Swap you the 5512 for 3 of my Gibson Les Pauls. Okay, what are they, standards? That's about right, actually. Oh, well, it depends what year they are. 3 Pauls for the 5512. Is there a gold top in there or a Black Beauty? Let me know what they are. I'll consider it. I know someone who might want to play those. Actually, that's a good deal for you because Simone said to me, you can sell it to your audience for 14, but he had it listed for 18. He had it in the store for 18 because that's what this... There's a lot of different configurations and details of different ones, and the price varies depending. And this particular one with its particulars and the dial and the yada yada, they go for between 18 and 19 in euros. So like over 20 in dollars. I was like, well, I have to do my audience like a cool deal. And you've had it sitting in your vault for years. He's like, give me 14 for it. Fine. So it's actually a pretty good deal. Very good deal. Here we go. 2001 custom Black Beauty. Okay, custom as in new pickups. Gold top from 2021 and a 2002 standard. All right, we might be onto something. Okay, so what you do is you email me some photos at ushinamalichannel@gmail.com. ushinamalichannel@gmail.com. We'll talk. The best of those is probably the custom Black Beauty because it's older. No, they're all good. The 2002 standard is nice. Yeah, and they go for what, $4,000 each? You're a little bit shy value-wise, but hey, maybe it'll be worth doing. I don't know. Let's entertain the idea. We'll at least have fun exchanging banter and ideas about it. Andy Dufresne, why doesn't Simone list it on Chrono? Simone doesn't like work. He only has a few on Chrono 24. He's not crazy about it. He prefers selling in store. It makes him nervous. The shipping and all makes him. He's a very kind of nervous guy. He's very proper, prim and proper about everything. He doesn't like to take any risks at all. I keep telling him I'm going to drag him to the casino one night just to fucking shake that out of him because the casino is all risk.
And I'm just looking forward to seeing him put down like 200 euros on black on the roulette table and seeing him sweat. He's very meticulous, you might say. And he'll also say, you know, we'll be going for a drink, and I'll be like, oh, we go there. He's like, oh no, that's very pricey there. I'll be like, Simone, it's like an extra euro, you know. It's an extra couple of bucks for the drink. Why are you such a penny pincher, man? You have a fucking watch store with like 3 million euros of watches in there. Why are you such a... He's just like that. It's just his character. But yeah, he gets very uptight about it. I've seen him like fold receipts, you know, these long receipts. I've seen him like he rubs them on the end of the table to flatten all the creases out, and then he folds them and puts them in a laminate. I'm like, dude, you're so studious about this stuff. If I had a watch store, it would be a total mess. The place would be a freaking shambles in there. It'd be like cigar ash on everything. We're just different kinds of people in that way. Chrono's non-personal. Yeah, that's true too. Old school. He is, Andy. He's old school. He still closes during the day, like, you know, siesta at noon, or is it 1? He closes till 3. I'm like, why are you? That's what they used to do in the 80s and before in Italy. You don't do that. That happens in little towns in Italy, not in big towns, not Venice. You don't close for siesta. There's thousands of tourists coming by all day long. He's just kind of stuck in his old-fashioned ways, I guess. His sons keep telling me, can you tell our dad that that's stupid that he closes? I'm like, I'll do my best. I know stores here that won't open till 11 a.m. or noon, but they'll stay open till 11 p.m. because they've already figured out that Venice is a place for tourists, and a lot of people have a drink or have dinner at 7 or 8 and then go for a stroll, and they're a little buzzed, you know, and she might see a nice piece of jewelry in the window and he might be feeling a little generous. Come on, honey, we only go to, you know, it's our first time in Venice, maybe our last. Let's buy that necklace for you, you know. Meanwhile, the Simone's store is closed at 7:30. That's real smart, dude. But what do I know? He's the one with the fucking jewelry store, and I'm the one with the... What do I have? I don't know. The hair. I don't know. What do I have? I don't know what I have. Maybe he's the Sean Penn of Venice. Italians need their nap. I don't know if he naps. I think he just goes to have lunch. I don't think he naps. That's old school stuff. JX. What about WAL bases? I had one. I had a WAL many years ago. They are very weird. It was like a computer inside a beautiful wooden table. I don't think I'd be able to buy a WAL like that. If I still had that base, I don't think I'd be able to like move it anywhere because laws have changed because there's so much rare wood in it and like ebony fretboard and stuff, you know. There's like endangered species on the in the body, you know. There's certain guitars you can't travel with because they're banned, like certain woods in them or whatever, or stones. They're banned, you know, in different countries. I think the WoW probably had like the most exotic possible materials used. I can't quite remember. 20th century. He likely has his reasons and just wants to enjoy his life. Yeah, he does. I know. DR, you have a strong liver. That's right. He's got the beautiful jewelry store, 4 generations deep in the most beautiful city in the world. And I have a strong liver. There you go. That's what I bring to the table in our friendship. Was I going to talk about anything else tonight, or was I just going to fuck off like an idiot here? Was there anything else? I have my notes here. I send myself during the week. Iran never had a new... Oh, yeah, of course. There was that too. Yeah, there was no threat from Iran at all. It was totally invented. Bullshit. Iran are a threat to one place only. We know what that is. And that then stirs the pot. We know how it works. JX again, coming in hard. That guy's a cool looking dude. Are you like a guitarist in a band or something? I've enjoyed a Life Size from your mentioning your band. Would you ever think of doing a video on your bass riffs? That's an interesting one. I was going to pick up the bass this week. I'll show you guys a little bit of bass. Maybe I'll do that next week. That's a good idea. Life Size. That was our first studio record, produced by Jerry Harrison from the Talking Heads. I don't know. I never think about that. It's like my past life. That guy has since died. It's an idea. It's a good record, Life Size. Very clean. Nice room, very clean. There's a quote for you. Sig. Go on then. Beats smoking the Bible, doesn't it, Bobby? We only smoke the Lamentations. Kotsky, you make a very good point. If I got a nice boat, imagine the live streams. Well, I've been shopping for boats recently. Was that last week or the week before with Dirk on the iBashers? We were looking at boats for sale. Yes. They would be good streams, wouldn't they? They would. Get some champagne on there, some good tunes, some girls in the back sunning themselves. That's the girl's job, right? To wear a bikini and sit in the back sunning themselves while they sip on the champagne and giggle. Michael, Adam Clayton or Geddy Lee? Who's better? Jesus. There's no comparison. Hey, listen, Adam's he's a good guy. And he did the job well. And as wealthy as Geddy Lee is, Adam Clayton is wealthier. But there is no earthly comparison between their talents. Thoughts on John Entwistle? People are asking me about bass. John Entwistle died because he rented that house down the street, Cadario. His manager had it. He dropped dead, and then Entwistle was using it, and he fucking dropped dead within a week. It's the damned house. I love Entwistle. We played with The Who, and I remember thinking they should have hired me, god damn it, because they hired Pino Palladino. He's an amazing bass player. He's just so wrong for The Who. He's smooth and silky. Like, he's not aggressive, loud, distortion bass. That's what I was. I was that guy. I would have fit the bill way better. And I do the two-handed tapping thing that Entwistle did a lot of as well. I do a lot of that stuff too. Delusions of Grandeur, O'Malley. I remember the first gig we did with The Who. I saw all the basses because Pino is like, he's a legend. You got to know. Grow up learning bass, you know, Pino. And I saw the rack of the basses and I was like, oh, I can see the fucking Pino's bass. I can see, like, there was two of them. And I was like, oh my God, that's the actual basses that I've been listening to for years and learning every single note. But he was wrong for the band. I'm sure it was just Townsend saying, I want the best bass player in Britain. Who is it? It's Palladino. Okay, I want him. Michael, plus you look good doing it. That's part of it. You have to have a bit of theater. Hey, listen, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay? Because as bass players, sometimes we get a little pissed off with other bass players. Because singers are cool and drummers are cooler. Drummers are always cool because they're working. There's a lot of work. So when you watch someone work, it's just a natural charisma. They're not posing. You can't pose and be a drummer unless you're what's his face from Dated Pamela Anderson. You know, that's posing, but that's so silly. Drummers are supposed to be busy at work, and therefore we watch them. They don't have to perform because their work is the performance. That's the great thing about being a drummer. You don't have to have charisma. In fact, a lot of drummers are shy. Neil Pearce, super shy guy. But we watched everything he did. Singers are usually posers and look good, right? If they're decent at all on stage. Guitarists usually are good posers. So many bass players look so awkward and like they shouldn't be there. I'd go to gigs or we'd be playing some festival and there'd be some other bands we'd be watching. And I'd be like, you fucking, I want to slap you. I'm going to get laid less because of you, you dick. You're spreading the virus through the bass world of the awkward looking bass guy who looks nervous and looks around all the time. And, you know, oh my God, dude, can you fucking buy some charisma, please? You're ruining it for the rest of us. A lot of bass players are just very stiff and awkward on the stage. It's awful. Fucking awful. So yes, I did everything I could to be the cooler bass player. Like I'm gonna push back on this tidal wave of boring, nervous-looking bass players with imposter syndrome. There are some fucking super cool bass players, though. The trick is not to overdo it. Once you start overdoing it, you look like an idiot. You can't overperform. Performing on stage is about an internal thing that's happening that people want to witness. It's like they're watching you. It's like pornography. If the actress is, or actress, whatever she's called, whatever model, whatever you want to call her, if she's like overdoing it, you just go, oh yeah, you're just like, this is such. But if she forgets there's a camera on her and she begins to enjoy what she's doing, now we're watching, aren't we? Right? Hate to be cross about it. When you watch Jim Morrison sing with the Doors, he's got his eyes closed. He's not dancing around, moving on the stage, trying to entertain. He's there like, oh, the day destroys the night, the night divides the day, and his eyes are closed most of the show, and we're captivated. The moment a performer on a stage tries to put on a show, it's just pathetic. It's the opposite of rock and roll. I hate it. So I'm trying to think of cool bass players that I mean, there's so many, but the ones that were super fucking. I remember there was one guy who played with Oasis. I'm not sure he still plays with them. He was a big, tall, lanky, skinny guy, and he played because Oasis went through a few different players, different people in their band. And there was one guy, I was like, that is the most fucking charismatic bass player I've ever seen in my whole life, and he isn't doing a damn thing. He's standing there, but he looks like he just wants to take another puff out of his cigarette the minute he gets a chance. And there was just something so laid back and charismatic about it. I was like, that's what we need more of. Women want to sleep with him. Okay. J.O. Power, Freddie Mercury could pull off the theatrical frontman thing pretty well. Yes. If you're going to do it, you better do it that well, because otherwise it's going to look really fucking embarrassing. Everyone's going to have secondhand embarrassment. If you're going to throw the ball to the end of the other end of the pitch, you better throw it all the way to the other end of the pitch. Because if you're full of this big movement and you throw the ball and it lands halfway, everybody goes home. So you know what I mean? If you're going to do that big performance thing, you better be Freddie level. Otherwise, please don't do anything and just sing your song and close your eyes. That's my opinion. And how many bands have I seen, guys? Think of it. No matter how many bands you've seen, I've seen more. Because we toured and we were on stages with lots of other bands. Some of these festivals had 20 bands on in the one day. And we're sitting around watching the other bands, I've seen a lot of fucking bands. Yeah. More rant. Is Dirk doing a show? Because I didn't see a show earlier. Is he doing one? Oh, he is. Oh, he's already live. He has a cool fucking thumbnail as well. Okay, great. I'll go over there in a minute. That's hilarious. His thumbnails are hilarious. Sorry I didn't talk about much tonight. One of those nights. Hey, at least I didn't bog on about politics, right? Count your lucky stars. Andy Rourke is not an underrated bass player, Andrew. He's very rated. People love his bass playing. Andy Rourke is a very well-known bass player. I mean, he's not as famous as Flea from the Chili Peppers or whatever, but I know a lot of players who really revere his playing. Of course, the greatest bass player of all time. Well, my favorite bass player of all time is Chris Squire from Yes. Chris. But leaving aside, because he's very progressive and strange and he did a lot of odd stuff, in the more mainstream, you might say, the greatest bass player of all time is Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney, because he played the bass like a singer. He sang through the instrument. It's a very subtle skill, but it's very much there. And as you learn how great the Beatles were, it's one of the things you discover. How the fuck did he think to do that? You know, is a thought that happens a lot. But he has the mind of a singer. I used to do that with our singer. I'd often hand him the bass and say, hey, you come up with the bass line. Because you're going to think of it. You're going to think of a bass line that a singer would think of, not what a bass player would think of. And it worked almost every time. Stanley Clarke. Yeah, Stanley Clarke is jazz fusion, man. And he's amazing. Lemmy, yeah. Lemmy was just a pure rock star. That's what Lemmy was. I better not carry this conversation over to iBashers because Dirk will just go, it will be a 4-hour conversation about these things. This is exactly his wheelhouse. He won't let up. He'll talk about it like everyone in the room knows everything about this stuff too, you know. Tal Winkelfield. What age is she now? She must be 27. When she came on the scene, she was 17. Playing with Jeff Beck. Scary good at 17. I shudder to think. Now, I haven't seen her around though since Jeff died. Liam Gallagher is pretty good at tambourine. Getty, of course. Pino Palladino live in Stockholm with D'Angelo is a must listen. So psychedelicide. Oh, really? Well, Pino played with John Mayer. They had a little jazz trio, blues jazz trio. And Pino was on bass, and it was some fucking sick shit. Yeah, he's a sick player. There was a time when he was the highest paid session bass player in the world. And of course, Jim Mingus. Well, Mingus wasn't just a bass player. I mean, bass was his voice, but Mingus was one of the great composers of jazz. He was a jazz icon. He just happened to be holding a bass. That's what Mingus was about. Marcus Miller. Marcus Miller is one of the most famous slap and funk bass players in the world that I never got into. I was never bowled over Marcus Miller. Still to this day, my favorite creation of Marcus Miller's was the soundtrack to Frantic with Harrison Ford. He loses his wife in Paris. A soundtrack is by Marcus Miller. Believe it or not. You get me going on music, guys. We haven't even scraped the surface. Don't get me going on the dead composers. Although I did talk about it. How well are you? I can't get back his voice again. How well are you trained in music? Go watch Amadeus. Go watch the movie. Do yourself a fucking favor. It's a masterpiece. Okay, I'm going to go over to Dirkus Maximus. How many upvotes do we have? I'm curious now because the crowd eventually built up. Finally, I was getting nervous there. I mean, it was decent-ish, but just under 200 upvotes. We can still do better than that, kids. Photo Dave Jacks, thanks for indulging us. Really? I should talk more about the band days and the gigs and the girls and all of that shit, right? You guys love that shit. Next week, maybe. Or maybe during the week, I might do another live, impromptu live. Keep your eyes peeled. How do you upvote, Pierre? Look at that. Wow. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked because that does occur to me sometimes that maybe people don't know what upvote is. Because I have to remember that my audience, some of them are of a certain age and aren't so great with technology. Like recently, a guy sent me an Instagram, I think, saying, here's some photos of my old watch. And there were no photos. And I was like, okay. And then I checked my mail later that day, and there was a guy and just photos in my email. And I looked at his name, and I was like, is that the guy who sent me the message earlier? So he went on Instagram, which sounds like a bloody miracle in itself, and texted me going, here's some photos, and then went on to email like they were, like that was a secretary there somehow. And I'm like, oh, shit. Anyway, I'll show you how. Stop making fun of your own audience. Be kind, O'Malley. No, guys, but really, Jesus Christ. I'm not fucking a spring chicken either. Okay, so there is the show. My stupid looking face. I look all red. How do I share this over? There's the show, right? I paused it. That's the show you're watching. Okay. Now, underneath the screen, down here, you have thumbs up and thumbs down. See that? You guys seen that? Yes, you are. See, you have thumbs up and thumbs down right here on the right side. Thumbs up and thumbs down. Hitting thumbs up is an upvote. I just did it for myself. So it's around there. And if you're watching on your phone, then maybe it's in a slightly different spot. That's what an upvote is. Actually, we should just call it a thumbs up. That might make it easier for all the grandpas in the room. Now you know. Wow. Hey, listen. I'm here to help. It can't be seen while the chat is up, says Photo Dave Jacks. Is that a fact? Okay. Well, it's under the screen. I often get messages from people going, hey, what's the music in that? Or what, what's the info on the... And it's right under most YouTube videos is a whole description. You might have to click a more, like the button more, which gives you more. It expands out the information. But all the information on the channel and video in many cases, is in that description. So if you're watching some YouTube video and there's a song in the background and you want to know what that is, check the description of the video, which is right under the video. Start there. All right. I'm going to stop abusing you guys now. And I'll go over to Dirk. All right, guys. If you leave it running, it might pop you over automatically. If not, here's that I'm putting in the chat. So if you have the chat up, you'll be able to move the mouse over. Use your hand. Move your hand over to the mouse or the trackpad or whatever, and slide it over the chat, and click on the thing I just put in the chat right now. And that'll bring you over to Dirk's show, which will appear on in 5 seconds flat. Andy, I need a drink. See you all at Dirk's. Yeah. All right. That was fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats and PayPals. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace and love.